and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Marcia Dawood. And I'm so happy that she said yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello and welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Caroline.
Oh, I'm so happy. And I want to introduce you to the audience, of course, a little bit. You are an angel investor and you serve as an advisor to the US Securities and Exchange Commission. You are on a mission to help get more funding to women. And you have to help me. How do you pronounce this? BIPOC? No,
Yeah,
B-I.
that's right. Yeah, BIPOC.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
get it. Founders, and you are a TEDx speaker, author, and podcast host as well of The Angel Next Door. I love it so much. Thanks again for being here and tell us a little bit more about you.
Sure. So, about 12 years ago, I was invited to an angel investing meeting, and I said, "What's angel investing?" I didn't know anything about it, and came to find out that there's a lot of amazing entrepreneurs out there working on some really cool, innovative technologies and different ideas, ways that we can improve our lives in so many ways through healthcare, through all kinds of stuff. And I just was totally fascinated at the entire industry and everything that these amazing entrepreneurs were working on. And then I quickly learned how little funding goes to women and people of color who are also doing incredible things and making, our world a better place. And I just thought, well, this is crazy. Like, why is so little funding going to them? And after talking to a lot of people and trying to kind of figure it out, it turns out that we really need more people who look like these people making the investment decisions. And we just don't have enough people, enough women, enough people of color who are actually doing the investing. And so a long time ago, it was pretty much that you had to be pretty wealthy and you had to know people. But nowadays, it's changed a lot. And the SEC put some rules out in 2016 that allow people to invest now for as little as $50 through crowdfunding. People can also invest with their time. They can help entrepreneurs if they, with so many different things. You don't have to have a PhD or be a lawyer to help a startup company. They need all kinds of help, bookkeeping, administrative help, human resources, you name it, they need help. So people can do that too. And so there's a lot of things that we can do, but there's still all these myths out there that need to be busted about that it's only for rich people. And it is a little bit like Shark Tank. I mean, Shark Tank has definitely gotten people really excited about some of the things that are being worked on out there. But they also make it look like you need to own a private jet and be a billionaire. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. And now I see clearly more about what you said, investing your time as well. I love that concept so much. And you talked about role models as well, being a role model, being the face of something, a new face,
Yeah.
and people don't expect. So I like this very much, being an example as well. So we know now what inspired you to get into that, but what inspires you on a daily basis in general, every day?
I would just say, I'm every day I'm learning something new and learning about things that I just had no idea about. And it's really, really cool just to be able to find out about the things that are being worked on and the things that people come up with. I sometimes I look at different companies and what they're working on, and I was like, I had no idea that that even existed. So, there's a lot to be said for helping others, and that makes people feel good. But it really does help with personal growth. And also, the people I get to meet are people I would have never met normally in, a corporate job. So I've just met so many people from all around the world, and they all have such amazing and unique backgrounds.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. This reminds me of this podcast. I started it in December, and we would have not met. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, it's what you say. You meet people all around the world, and I love that so much. The opportunity also to speak with you today. Thank you so much. My next question is, who inspires you? Are there coaches, mentors?
Yes. So when I first went to this meeting back in 2012 and learned about this amazing world that I had no idea about, this entrepreneurial world, I had a mentor, and she was the woman who was running the angel group at the time. And we have had a relationship now for 12 years, as mentor and friend. And she's just inspired me so much. She actually was on the same committee at the SEC. She had a term before mine, so I've kind of been following in her footsteps. And she's just been a really amazing person who has inspired me to want to be better and want to help these entrepreneurs be better.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. This is inspiring. Yes, to have people we can, I don't know if you would say you look up to, but they achieved something you want to achieve maybe, and now you are in her
Yeah.
footsteps. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow, I love it. And my next question is, how do you inspire others?
Right. So, yeah, I think by just being able to share stories, sometimes if you just tell people the facts, that's interesting and all that. But sharing these different stories of how I've been able to help people, and some of these entrepreneurs, and then that inspires other people. And I can give you an example. There's a company that's working on a women's health product, and they had a lot of trouble because their product is for sexual health, and it is a true health product, but it was getting a lot of censorship because of all of the things that were related to what the algorithms thought was, something pornographic. But it turns out that a lot of the algorithms out there were written by men, so they don't have a problem. These algorithms don't have a problem with things like erectile dysfunction, but they have a problem with things like pelvic floor pain. And you can't say things like, pelvis or pelvic floor, apparently on Facebook without having some, serious, backlash. So this company had a real problem. And what happened was the investors band together and found some people through the network to be able to help them get past some of these things. And still not perfect, but those are the things that we really need to call attention to, so that we hope then that will inspire other people to want to go out and help make sure that these things don't continue to happen, because this was a huge problem, and a huge setback for this company, because they lost their ability to advertise. They also lost their store on Amazon for a little while, and, that was like millions of dollars in sales that they were losing. So, these are the things that when I hear something like that, it kind of like the inspiration is actually coming from like the fire in the belly, because you're getting kind of like, what? Like that can't be happening. And now you're going to go out and like try to help make a difference or help make a change.
Wow, that's interesting. I never thought of this. Like what you said is true. Algorithm and written by men. So there are words, and it shows also the importance of language, to choose the language and the words as well, which are
Yes,
sort. This is really interesting. You never think about problems that way. Only when when you face them, when you are along the way. Wow, this is amazing. So what
that's
are your
true.
gifts and talents? It's one of your gift to identify those problems and solve them, maybe.
Yeah.
What else are your gifts and talents?
What else are my gifts and talents to solve problems like that? I think one of the things that entrepreneurs really struggle with is that they aren't articulating what they're doing in a simple enough way so that everyone can understand it. And so when an entrepreneur gets in front of potential investors, they sometimes will think, well, these people are all very smart, and everybody's smart and everybody has their own set of expertise or whatever. But I don't really know anything about, let's just say, a certain type of like healthcare technology. I don't have that background. So if somebody's talking to me about it and all of a sudden they go into something that's fairly high level, they're going to lose me because I don't really understand what they're talking about. So my superpower is to be able to help these companies with their what we call a pitch deck. It's kind of their ability to kind of show what they're doing and why they're doing it. And when I take a look at it, if in the first couple of slides I don't really understand what the problem is that they're solving, then I'll go back and work with them and say, hey, you have to be able to inspire the people who you're talking to really want to solve this problem that you're talking about. But if it's not really a big enough problem and you're just coming with a solution kind of in search of a problem, then investors aren't going to be very excited about that. And then also, if they jump right into the technology or the science behind it, I might go, "Phew," now I'm going to start thinking about what am I having for dinner tonight, that kind of thing, because you're just not in that right, kind of headspace to be able to understand even why they're doing this. So I think if entrepreneurs at the very beginning can talk a lot about, why this is so important for the world and for people or the planet or whatever it is that they're working on, that can really make a difference.
I understand. So it has to be inspiring when someone presents the idea, the business idea, and asking for funds, for example. Yes. So there's
Yes.
a need to help entrepreneurs expressing themselves. I was searching for the word myself. Okay, my next question is, what are your goals for 2024? Do you have goals? Do you set intentions?
Yeah, goals. Well, one of my big goals, as we've been talking about, is to just demystify a lot of what goes on in helping entrepreneurs. So I do have a book that's coming out in September. It's called Do Good While Doing Well. And it's about this concept of how can we do good and do well, meaning that we can have a financial gain and be able to help move forward some of the changes that we want to see in the world. And, those are some of the goals that I have are, we want to see change. We talk about wanting to see change in certain things, but a lot of people, they think, well, I'm only one person. How can I do that? That seems very daunting. And so what I'm trying to do is take the dauntingness out of it so that people will feel like, oh, I can do just this little thing, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time and it doesn't have to take a lot of money, but I can do this and it will help. If everybody did that, imagine the type of momentum we could get and the types of change we could make. So my goal is to inspire people to just move a little bit in that direction. And if they do, and so many other people do, well, then we've really got something going on.
Wow, I see it. I see the impact. It's like,
Hmm.
doing one little step, maybe per day,
Yeah,
or yes. Wow, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And when
sure.
people reach out to you now after listening to this episode, what can they help you with? What are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for more people who will reach out to their local entrepreneurs. They're easy to find. You can just kind of Google startup events in my neighborhood or my area, my town, my city, whatever it is. There's always things going on. There's always entrepreneurs that are looking for help. Usually our saying is entrepreneurs should ask for advice before they ask for money. And in some cases, if they do ask for advice, they might actually get some money. So, those are some of the ways to do that. So, I do have a podcast, as you mentioned, The Angel Next Door, so people can find out a lot about this. And I'm hoping that the podcast will also help people feel like this isn't so daunting and it isn't so out of reach, that it's something that they can do.
Yeah, I didn't know this before. Thank you so much for sharing because it seems easy for me now after talking to you, of course, because for me it was also far away. Like the thought, what can I do? How can I help? Yeah.
Right, right,
And
right.
you talked about your offers and services. It's the podcast. What else? When people reach out to you, now they can connect and you have a conversation.
That's right. Yep. Would love it.
Please reach out to Marcia? Oh, it is. I have to
Yes.
practice your name. She's amazing. I learned so much. Thank you so much. But I have one last question. If you have
Sure.
a message, I know you shared so much already. One last message to the audience, please.
Sure. You know, charity alone will not solve the world's problems. We can't put our burden, that type of a burden, all on charity. Charities are amazing and they do some incredible work, but we also have to invest in for-profit companies in order to see the change that we want to see in the world.
Wow. Thank you so much. This was amazing. And see
Thank
you
you, Caroline.
in the next. Oh, thank you. See you in the next episode. Wow.